first of all, thank you ladies so much for joining me today on this podcast. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to let our members know who you are and tell the folks a little bit more about yourselves. So we're just going to start with some basic introductions. So if you could just start with your name, your region, and what you do within the association. So we can start with you, Julie, and then we'll work our way to Carrie and Nancy.
Okay, well, I'm Julie Hedden and Region 4 Director. And boy, that's loaded. What do I do? Let's see. Besides being the director, I'm also on the CAC committee, the Internal Audit Committee, and then a few other, like amateur committee, Working Western, convention planning. I tried to get involved in everything. I've been a delegate for a few years now. Gone to convention and I show in my region, and so I do lots of showing too, and just try to be involved any way I can and help out any way I can.
That is wonderful. What about you, Carrie?
Yeah, I'm Carrie Olson. I'm the Region 5 Director and just finishing up my first term, and will start my second term. I am also on the Commissioners Review Panel and also a member of the Futurity Commission. And then I am a board liaison to the Sweepstakes Commission and then also the Convention Planning Commission. So always lots going on and lots to do.
How about you, Nancy?
So I'm Nancy Rohde. I am the Region 6 Director. And within my region, I am the president of the Montana Arabian Horse Association in Billings. And I'm also their show manager, and I've been their show manager. I'm now currently their show secretary. Our regional show is in Douglas, and I go down for that week-long show every year and help our show manager down there and our show secretaries with that show, and basically do anything that needs to be done to, assist them and keep the thing going. And I think my favorite thing about our region here is that we too are quite diverse. We're very small in numbers, but we're mighty.
Awesome. It sounds like you guys have lots on your plate, but that's great because we always love our directors, our volunteers, all that good stuff. So kind of on the same note, you guys were talking about what you do within AHA. I kind of wanted to know a little bit more about how you each got started with the Arabian breed. So Julie, would you be able to touch on how you came to Arabian horses?
Sure. Well, I guess my first interaction with Arabian horses, I think I was 9 years old. So that was like 1971, quite a while ago. And I decided I wanted a horse, and we lived in town, and my dad said, well, if you can figure out how to buy a horse, I'll figure out where to keep it. So I got a paper route, picked berries, and spent $250 on a great horse. And there was a guy a few miles away that had a boarding stable, and his name was Marvin Moore, and he had Egyptian Arabians, and he had worked for the Kellogg farm, an older gentleman. He had these beautiful Egyptian, he had a lot of park horses, driving horses, and that was kind of my first taste of Arabians. And then my parents decided they thought horse thing was a phase, and it wasn't a phase. So they thought maybe we better get something different. And I really liked pintos, and my dad fell in love with the Arabians, so we compromised. And in 1975, I got my first, a 2-year-old, I was 13-year-old kid, 12, half Arabian pinto gelding. I went to my first Arab show, not knowing what the heck I was doing. I was 12 years old in a halter class, and I won. And then we decided maybe we have a pretty good horse here. So we went and looked for a trainer and found Dean Miller. A lot of people who have been around for a long time will know these names, but Dean Miller was the one who rode Rafan to his national title in English. And I rode as a junior rider, Western horse. I was 12 years old, 13 years old, on a 3-year-old, and we won quite a bit. Showed the horse and everything, and it just blossomed from there. and I've never gone away from it.
I love it. Once you catch the horse bug, you can't really get rid of it.
Exactly. My parents realized it wasn't a passing phase. You know?
Right. Yes. Same here. Same here.
Yeah, it's been 50 years now. It's not going away.
Right. Exactly. How about you, Carrie?
Yeah, I probably have a similar story to Julie. My first horse, we moved out to the farm that my parents still are on when I was 3 years old, so quite a while ago. And my first horse was a grade horse, but then we decided I needed a little bit better horse for when I got in 4-H age. So we got a 3/4 Arab mare. I'm pretty sure we bought her for $500. And she was just the best horse. I put her through the paces of everything from showmanship, bareback, saddle seat, Western, everything. And then from there, I had gotten a job when I was, I believe, 5th or 6th grade and started cleaning stalls at a local farm. And it turns out they were originally from California, and she had grown up as a DeLongpre girl. So with the DeLongpres and all the wonderful stallions they had over the years, Barbary. So I got really interested. And then next thing I know, she's sending me home with the Arabian horse world, and I'm getting immersed in, all the wonderful photos and pictures. And I also believe one of their horses that I took to probably one of my first Arabian shows was a Rafan daughter with those big, beautiful eyes. And I, like Julie, didn't really know what I was doing, but just caught the bug from there. And yeah, it's been 40 some years since then, and we're still here and still love the Arabian horse. So.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it. How about you, Nancy?
So I was that horse crazy kid too, way back when, but I lived in the city, and my parents weren't of the means to really be able to board a horse and, do all those things. But I was lucky enough during the summertime because I was the oldest child, I was able to go down to my cousin's farm for several weeks during every summer. And so I would do that. And they had a couple of horses. And so every morning we'd get up and head out to the barn, get the horse, and the horse was pretty much the babysitter. And we did that for several years. And then kind of life went on. And several years later, I decided that I needed a hobby, something to relax, something that wasn't, it helped me de-stress and all that kind of thing. And so I thought, well, let's look to the horse again. And I started doing research, and I found I lived in Billings at the time, and I found that we had an equestrian college there, and that I did not know anything about. And they had a program. And so I started checking that out. Next thing I know, I end up at that barn, and I find that a bunch of my my cohorts from work were boarding horses up there. And so we, it just kind of opened up a whole new world for me. And so by then I was taking lessons up there. We were meeting on a regular basis to ride, and, it just kind of morphed from there. And I started looking, and there was a lot of Arabians at that barn, along with quarter horses and, the like. And because it was an equestrian program, we had, all sorts of horses. There's English, Western, jumping, all of that. And so I started looking, and I found a discovery farm. And from there, I really liked the guy that owned that discovery farm, and we just clicked, and I came home with my mare, and from there, it's just been history.
I love that you found the Arabian horse kind of through a discovery farm. That's awesome. It's really cool. Very, very cool. Well, it sounds like you guys have such a love and appreciation for the breed. It's very apparent through your stories of getting involved with Arabian horses. So I kind of wanted to ask you, since you guys have had some great experiences within the Arabian Horse Association, what's been your favorite part of being involved in AHA throughout the years?
Let me go first. I would say my absolute favorite part is the people, hands down. I have a lot of friends that I've had for, oh my gosh, since I started, which is like 50 years ago, that are still dear friends now. The support that you get, I think, we get a lot of support from each other. I love my horse show family, love the Region 4 family. And I think that's my absolute favorite part, is we all have that in common. And we all love this horse. We're all passionate. We all support each other. And I also do, I used to coach. We have a program in Oregon called Oregon High School Equestrian Teams. And it's where they can earn letters and stuff. And I was coaching the performance part of it for Sandy High School. And a lot of kids would come in and need a horse. And I had a lot of friends with Arabians. And so they would lend me their horses. And so I would get a lot of kids. I sold some Arabs and got kids involved in Arabians. I'm loving them. So that's the other thing, is just being able to promote the breed. And every time they would come to an Arab show, you always have that thing, is like, oh my gosh, that's just, above me. And these people are going to be, almost kind of snooty. And every time someone new came away, go, oh my gosh, everyone's so nice, and everyone supports each other. And I said, yep, that's exactly right. I said, that's our breed. So I think that's my favorite part.
We have some fantastic people in our breed, that is for sure. What about you, Carrie?
Yeah, I would have to say a lot about the people as well. I mean, I look back at the people I've met over the years, not just in the region. There's certainly a lot of people, great people here in Region 5, but all over the country, people I've met showing at either Scottsdale or Nationals, and have become longtime friends through the Arabian horse. And it's just a really cool thing that it unifies so many people, whether you show English, Western, working Western, doesn't really matter. It's all about the breed, and that we love the breed. One of my favorite memories is the Bonanza class. And I know that is maybe before a lot of people's time here, but it was such a great program. And I won that class in 1995 when there were 52 horses in the class. So that's one of my absolute all-time favorite memories. And we still get together. There's still people that are showing that were in that class, and we reminisce often about that class and how much fun it was. So that's one of my favorite memories.
It's definitely so unique and so cool that there is a horse that can bring all these people together in such a positive way. I think that is just so cool. How about you, Nancy?
So I think my favorite part of being part of this breed is like what Carrie and Julie have said as well. It's the people. My horse friends, we get together, we ride together, we just do so many things. And then I get to go to our regional show and see all the people there that are coming from all sorts of, the different states, our different judges that we've brought in over the years. I usually end up being a scribe and the ring steward. And so then I get to just meet all these lovely people. And I really enjoy that. It gets me out of what I do on a day-to-day basis. And it's so wonderful. And we just have so much fun. Our show in Billings in the springtime, people tell us that it is the funnest show that they come to all year long. And that we're not those snooty Arabs and that kind of stuff. They just have a blast. And I think that's what I really enjoy.
There's nothing like going to a show and just having a great time with your horses and your friends and getting to catch up. It's the coolest. It's one of the best things, I feel like. So I wanted to give you each a chance to talk a little bit about your regions. If you could tell our listeners a little bit about what your region does, or some highlights about your region, just kind of give you guys a chance to show it off a little bit.
Okay, Region 4. Well, we are in the Northwest. We're Oregon and Southern Idaho. And boy, how to describe Region 4? We're a very eclectic, very diverse group. Everything from, show horses to trail horses to, youth that do 4-H and, like I said, high school equestrian team. We put on our Region 4 championship show in Nampa, Idaho. And it's a very successful show. It's a very good show. We have a lot of participation. And this year we haven't been able to do a sport horse show. And we were able to do that at Devonwood this year, which is quite the facility for the dressage and the hunter jumper. And that was quite successful this year too. We have quite a few clubs that do clinics. I know I'm involved in the Arabian Horse Breeders Association, and we've done some clinics and brought in everyone from Rick Galt to Tom Tyson, and also sport horse clinics. Endurance riding is big here. Boy, the main thing is, like I said, a lot of people, I think the one thing in our region, the people is, a lot of people promote and go to the open. We have quite a few people that show at the Arabian shows on the national level, and they'll take their horses to the open level and show at the open shows just to promote the breed. And it brought a lot of people into it because of that. And I think, once again, what makes our region is the people in it. We have a lot of, like I said, once again, going back 50 years, a lot of people that are still in it and are giving back, that started up. I was a kid, starting up showing, and now it's like, okay, time to give back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have quite a few people that do that. Like I said, I have friends still that are training and showing and involved from when I was a kid. So I like I said, it's a great place to be. I feel very fortunate, very lucky to be part of it.
That's wonderful, and beautiful country in Oregon and Idaho for sure.
Yes. Yeah, we call it God's country.
Yeah, we can't beat that. Well, how about you, Carrie?
Yeah, similar to Region 4, we're up a little bit further north, Washington, northern Idaho, and then on into western Montana, and Alaska. So we have quite a diverse territory in Region 5. We've got quite an active youth program. Michelle Pease Paulson has done a wonderful job heading that up and continuing that. And our youth are now, we have 2 on the National Youth Board. So that's a great accomplishment, I think, for our region here. We have 2 regional shows, our main ring show, and then our sport horse show, both at the Monroe Evergreen Fairgrounds, which are great shows, well attended, and very competitive, especially with our sport horse contingent. They're very competitive group. And we have 10 clubs, 5 of which do horse shows, put on shows, and 1 of which, Daffodil Arabian Club, I believe is one of the oldest clubs west of the Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken, and was one of the largest clubs, still very active. They continue to try to put on clinics and do some community outreach there. And then we have a couple clubs in the east who do the same thing. I know they've been going to fairs and setting up info booths and doing that community outreach for the Arabian horse, which has been great. And then we had a few people this year that did outreach also at our state fair down in Puyallup, which was wonderful. They were there for 3 days promoting the Arabian horse. They had a mare and a foal, And then they also had a Arabian gelding there who was just a ham, and all the kids loved him. So that was great to see. So yeah, we have a real diverse group up here. And just kind of like Julie said, people that show on the national level all the way down. We have quite a contingent that does the open schooling show circuit, and they do a great job promoting the Arabian horse there as well. So
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing about your region. How about you, Nancy?
So I would say Region 6 is quite diverse as well. Region 6 is the majority of Montana that Carrie doesn't have on her western part there. And then Wyoming and North and South Dakota. And so we find that whenever we're showing, whenever we travel long distances, it takes hours and hours to get from one place to another, but that doesn't hold anybody back. We're doing a lot in Western and English. We have one regional show. Usually it's at the end of June, and at that show we offer pretty much everything. We're doing, we brought in the last couple of years, we've actually done a lot of hunter jumper stuff and brought that in for people. We of course are diving into the ranch riding, and that's of course a big hit and a favorite. Doing lots of sport horse, doing dressage, so we have all of those things at our show. The rest of the shows, we have various little shows around the area, usually starting in May, and I think our last one goes into September. And then we also have a distance ride that we do that's very popular. And I know that we had, I want to say it was early this spring, we had a sport horse clinic that was put on in Bozeman. Jim Hitt came up and did that for those folks, and that was, everybody was well received and well attended for that. So aside from just doing our little local shows, we have the one regional show, and like our local shows, everybody has a great time at that regional show too. So that's pretty much our region.
That is wonderful. It sounds like you guys have some great folks in each of your regions. You're diverse, promoting the Arabian breed, everything that we definitely love to see. That's for sure. So before we wrap up, I just wanted to do a little bit of a this or that, just a fun icebreaker game with you guys. So I'll ask you a this or that question, and you just say which you would prefer. So we'll start with Western or English.
Well, I would say depending on what the horse likes to do. I personally do Western because I have a half Arab, half quarter horse that is no way an English horse. So I do Western, but there's nothing funner than being on a big old English horse. So I would say whatever the horse is happy doing and whatever you're happy doing works for me.
Perfect. How about you, Carrie?
I have to say English. I like English, being hunter or dressage, the two-handed stuff I feel like is always better for me anyway. That's what I feel safer. The one-handed stuff, not so much.
Very good point. Very good point. How about you, Nancy?
I would say Western for me. I really enjoy that. And I probably wouldn't say I would have an English horse. And so I would go with Western.
Nice. Perfect. Okay. How about trails or arena?
Oh, for me, arena. I am not a trail rider. And probably because I grew up from the time I was a kid in the show ring, and I love a challenge, and I just love, maybe that's why I like Western. I like the detail. Not to say, trail riding for me, if I don't have a horse that does trails very good though, And I suppose I'd want a beer drinking trail horse. I mean, if I want to go out on the trail, I want a horse I can drink beer on and just go and relax. Well, my horse isn't that horse. So having that arena is definitely better for me right now because I don't have the beer drinking horse.
Totally understandable. How about you, Carrie?
I have to echo what Julie said, arena, hands down. If I had a nice old schlep that would go out and do trails, I'd be there, but don't have one of those right now. So I'd have to say arena.
What about you, Nancy?
Well, me too, hands down, it's arena. I like that confinement and, that type of thing. My idea of riding trails is that as long as it's flat and I can see a long ways all the way around me and I'm not on some skinny little mountain trail, I'm good. But arena definitely for me.
That's such a funny one. Sometimes it's so polarizing, and then other times it's like you guys are all arena. It's kind of funny. Okay, how about I think this is probably, as a horse person, this is kind of self-explanatory, but summer or winter?
Oh, summer. Hands down, summer. I'm just thinking, I'm like, I gotta go out to the barn. I'm gonna go out to the barn day ride, and it's not raining yet. But yeah, most definitely summer. Here in the Northwest, we deal with a lot of mud. and it gets cold and it gets rainy and it gets gray. So summertime, hands down.
I totally understand that. I grew up in Washington State, and horses in the mud in the winter. Oh, I totally know what you're talking about. What about you, Carrie?
Oh yeah, hands down summer. I've been sitting here thinking the last few days how I'm not ready for winter, because it sure is taking a turn and definitely chilly, and yeah, really not ready for it. So hands down summer.
I definitely agree with you. What about you, Nancy? I can probably guess
I'm
what
going to
your
go a
answer
little
is.
different. I'm going to go a little different here. I'm going to say fall, winter, but that too is with that arena setting. To ride, I like to ride really, and this time of year is just perfect for riding in the arena and in that type of thing. So that's my preference.
Valid point. And fall is always a beautiful season to ride. The leaves and the nice fall air. Totally can relate to that. Okay, last one, ladies. Polo wraps or splint boots?
Oh, I've used both. Right now, my horse gets splint boots back on tracks all the way around.
Nice.
And they're much, as you get older and you have to bend down and kneel down to put them on, it's a lot easier to do those boots, the splint boots.
They sure are convenient.
If I stay down too long with polo wraps, then it's a little harder to get up at my age.
How about you, Carrie?
I'm gonna go with splint boots right now too. They're just been easier, and yeah, as Julie says, a little less bending down, a little easier, a little quicker to take on and off.
For sure. And Nancy, what about you?
Yep, I'm going to have to agree. Same thing. That ground keeps getting further and further away and bending over, and yep, I'll go with splint boots.
Well, thank you guys for playing that little game. I appreciate it. Before I let you guys all go, I just wanted to open up the floor to any final thoughts that you had, any information that you'd like to speak on before we conclude today's call.
I think that, the biggest thing is, I think we all have to remember we all want what's best, and we all have common goals, and we all love this horse. We have much more in common than we do differences. And I think that's really important to remember, that it's about the breed and about the people. Like I said, I've been very fortunate to be with some great trainers and great people. From Dean Miller to Jerry Sint, Carlo Moffat, and I've gotten support from everyone. I've gotten to ride great horses. Ridden everyone from, Ibn Marafik to, I had a stallion named Terrell Wazir. And now I have my horse. Master Vaquero, my heart horse. So I think everyone, I think I want to just reiterate how fortunate we all are. And no matter where you come from or what you do, this horse is amazing.
1000%. Good final thoughts. How about you, Carrie?
Yeah, I think, the past couple of years have definitely been a little bit challenging for everybody, but it is nice to circle back and remember that we all have this amazing horse in common that we all love, and working towards a common goal of advancing the association however best we can and making it the best breed that we can. So I've been blessed to be a part of it and to meet all the wonderful people along the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How about you, Nancy?
The same thing. I mean, like Carrie says, these last few years have been very challenging, and it is the horse family and this breed that kind of keeps me balanced and leveled out, and leaning on my horse family and stuff for support, and it's been wonderful. We do have this wonderful horse for us, and promoting this breed, which Region 6 does wonderfly, and it has, to me, it's just there to kind of help keep us centered in this crazy world, and we are all working towards a common goal more than we are working to tear each other apart, I guess. We have common good here.
Absolutely. We all are working to better the horse, and the horse brings us together. And I loved each of your final thoughts. You all touched on that in your own way. So that was a great way to wrap this up. I just wanted to say thank you very much for joining me today on this call. It was really great to get to know each of you a little bit more, and I really look forward to continue working with you guys in the future. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Katie.
you.
It was,
Thank
it
you.